Welcome to Slug Snacks, where we make our thoughts pay rent. I'm Oz.
I'm Jake.
I'm Andy.
Today I have a very important question for you.
Okay.
Imagine with me.
All people?
No. Well, kind of. The world is ending.
Hell yeah.
You have two options.
Okay.
You can stay on Earth.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get into a spaceship and they're going to put you in cryo sleep and they are going to just go to where they think the nearest viable planet is.
So this is essentially like Alien, but instead of going to work, you're hoping to survive.
Hopefully.
Okay. Am I starting off in this new location with any sort of job or money or housing?
You know nothing. No one knows anything. All you know is that you're trying to survive. What is your question?
How long do I have to make this decision? Do I know that the world is going to end in a day? Or is this like, I have to make a decision right now?
I'll say, okay, resources are running out.
Okay.
Basically, like,
we know we have X
anything.
amount of time.
Yeah, you're running out of food. You have a certain amount of time, but it's not a lot. You're going to die.
I mean, if you're going to die or potentially live, you're going to go for potentially live every time, right?
No.
No?
I was going to see, are y'all going? Because I would go if y'all go, but also if not... like...
Would you rather fight someone that has a knife or a gun?
No, I was literally...
I want to die quickly.
Okay. Oz is dying quickly.
Yeah, I was thinking like, I would just like, knowing that it's going to end, just like go to like my favorite spot and just kind of chill there.
I really don't want to keep going if you two are gone. So,
do you want to come to the mountains with me and us look
I'm
at
not convinced you two to go with me to potentially survive.
Here's the thing.
What if I beg? What if I cry? What if I shit and piss and cry?
Oh my god. In the cryo chamber?
Yeah.
You're gonna wake up with your frozen shit and piss and tears?
If you don't go, yeah.
I have another question.
Yeah. From
what I have seen in the Alien movies, when they go into like cryo sleep.
Yeah.
To be fair, they're a pretty big source of cryo sleep in that. So
yeah. The Weyland-Yutani company. They're doing all kind of weird shit.
That, to be honest.
That's incredible.
What was anyway, I know I can't remember any actors or actresses, but like this fictionalized capitalistic company. Alright, so cryo.
Yes.
In the name, it's like cold sleep.
Correct.
And I don't like the cold.
You won't be awake to know.
I will be awake after maybe I wake up and realize...
They warm you back up. That's not the problem, really. You would not go because it's going to be cold?
Yeah, but also I don't know what things are going to like... It's like in the kindest way. It's like being born all over again, except you have no parents. You have no idea what's going to happen to you.
We're never going to answer one of these questions straight forward.
No!
I'll go and cryo and return to life, ho.
Anyway, today we're talking about cryogenics. Jesus Christ.
Leave a comment if you know those lyrics.
So this all started...
Okay.
Yes.
I'll ask you at the end.
Are you going to remember at the end?
No. Okay, so not to spoil anything, but I'm assuming the survivability rate of this is pretty low. What if someone hits you instantly with cryomancy? They fucking freeze you because they're an ice wizard. You think maybe there's a better shot then?
What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean?
Ice wizard, Oz!
Why is there
like Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat.
Why is there an ice wizard? Like,
because it's a fight between all the different realms.
Is it?
Yes.
Where?
In Mortal Kombat. Are you not listening? Do you not listen to me when I fucking speak?
I don't know how we got here.
I would like to plug in my
Sub-Zero.
answer.
Sub-Zero.
I am officially going to my mountain and just going to wait for the world to end.
And die. Yeah.
Sub-Zero is the leader of the Lin Kuei Ninja Clan, and he knows ice magic. If he hit me before I die in natural death, do you think I'd have a higher chance if I got instant freeze because he's fucking badass?
Are we gonna get sued because you're name dropping?
No!
It's a podcast.
It's a podcast. We're mentioning something. So are we?
We're immoral on this.
I think I thought you were talking in the context of the thought experiment.
I am kind of.
So a greater chance of what?
Of surviving than current technology.
We're not talking about current technology. We're talking about science fiction future where there's at least one person has been revived after going into cryosleep.
Okay, in terms of the rest of your podcast,
Yeah.
then, because most of this is done after death, I would guess.
Yes.
If I were instant freezed while alive, like snap, fingers frozen, not the chemical blood bullshit, frozen.
With ice.
Am I coming back?
No.
Okay, I'm getting shattered.
You're dead.
That's one of his things, man. He shatters you and rips your spine out. Okay.
Well, that has nothing to do with cryogenics, so...
It has everything. He's a fucking ice wizard.
Ice, like H2O.
Okay, let's stop. Let's let Oz do his thing. This is going to be a 6-hour podcast.
Anyway, we will get to why being frozen in ice is different and also bad versus being frozen cryogenically. We'll get there. I promise.
Okay.
I promise.
You promised me.
So this all started a couple weeks ago. I was reading The Little Book of Aliens by Adam Frank. And in this book, he talks about our obsession with aliens, with spacecrafts, not whether or not they've been here, because you can't really prove one way or another. But
aliens have definitely been here.
Anyway.
I'm not going to let some guy with 2 first names tell me that aliens haven't been here.
What is Adam Frank's decision on if aliens have been to Earth?
There's no aliens have been to Earth. He doesn't say that, but like he implies it. That's not the point.
Fuck that guy. Back to your book.
So, one of the things he talks about is in order to consider if aliens could be here, is how do they get here? And the only way we can consider that is through the technology that we know and understand.
That's dumb.
That's all we got. So we know that the universe works in a specific way. We've done a lot of science about physics and universal laws, and we know that the universe works in a certain way. And we know the speed of light. And there's nothing faster than the speed of light that we know of. It physically is not possible.
There's so many that we know is impossible. Like, there's so much room here for you to just deny aliens outright. Is crazy.
I didn't.
You said they haven't been here. They
haven't.
Okay, if they can move at the speed of light, we wouldn't have seen them.
If they move at the speed of light, let me fucking finish. Because we have a lot of telescopes.
Okay.
And so we've looked at a lot of things in the universe.
Yeah.
And we now know that pretty much every star in the universe has at least one planet.
Okay.
But just because it has a planet doesn't mean it has life. So right now, what we do is something called bioastronomy, where we're looking for signs of life on other planets. And that could be anything from a biosphere to a technosphere. So biosphere would just be like something that shows there is some sort of biological life. A technosphere being they have satellites out in orbit like we do. Now, we can't see these planets very well because the light of the stars is much brighter.
Right. So
but
we don't know.
We can know, is the thing. It's because of spectroscopy. And I'm not going to do all this bullshit because no one's going to know what I'm talking about. They're not going to care and they're going to stop listening. The point is, we have yet to find life anywhere. That doesn't mean anything.
Right, so that's what I'm saying.
But if aliens were to get here.
They have been. Continue.
They would have to follow the laws of physics.
Okay.
So.
What are the laws of physics, Oz?
Gravity.
Shut up. What are the laws of physics, Oz?
Nothing can move at the speed of light.
Okay, who determined that?
Newton.
Fucking the scientists.
Mm-hmm.
We have...
Mm-hmm.
So, hold on.
Yes, okay.
You're taking scientists' hypotheses...
Now, hang on.
As definitive.
It's a theory.
Fact?
It's a theory.
Because that's crazy to me.
I don't think that one is a theory.
Oh.
You don't think, but you don't know.
I'm not a scientist, okay?
Wait, let
you're
Oz
you're
finish.
the closest we've got.
Let Oz finish. I want to hear about being frozen to death.
You're not being frozen to death.
It's my choice.
Listen, all right.
My body, my choice.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. I'm gonna back off because I think we're just going to fundamentally disagree on this topic, so I'm going to let you go, and
Great.
I'll save it for the end.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
You're so merciful.
I am.
Assuming nothing moves faster than the speed of light. And what our current technology, for sure, cannot move that fast. So let me put this into perspective here. The closest star to us is called Proxima Centauri. And that one is...
Is that our sun?
No.
That's the closest star to us.
Yes, the sun is literally the closest star
How are
to
you
us on Earth.
simultaneously very dumb about it and also very right?
Sorry. The closest star to Earth is the sun. The closest star to our solar system,
There you go.
sorry, is Proxima Centauri. Oh my god. And that one is, I've lost my number. It's in here somewhere, I promise. Let me do a little search. Here we go. Proxima Centauri is 4.25 light years away. So if we could move at the speed of light, we could be there in 4.25
4
years. Correct. But we can't. And currently, the thing that we have made that is the furthest from us in the universe are the Voyager spacecrafts. Voyager 1 is about 171 AU from the Earth, which in AU is the average distance between the Earth and the Sun, about 93 million miles. And it has technically entered interstellar space.
Mm-hmm.
However, it is still in the solar system because it has still not touched the Oort cloud.
Yeah, bro isn't even out of the Oort cloud. We're fucking newbie. We're babies right now.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Legit.
Okay.
So, where the Voyager is at
Yes.
right now,
Mhm.
what is the closest planet? Are we still considered the closest planet?
Planet?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
is it, like, over by, like, Pluto? Is it past Pluto?
Yes,
Like,
it is far.
Okay,
past.
He just said it's...
I don't know where the fucking Oort cloud is.
No, he said it's 1.7 AUs.
It's 171.
171 times the distance from us to the sun.
Yeah, I don't know how fucking...
All right, and I
You
guess
just
we
said
need to,
90 million miles.
I guess we need a fucking science lesson. So there's the inner part of the solar system, which is the terrestrial planets,
Yeah.
and then we have our little asteroid belt, and then we go out to the gas giants.
Okay.
And past the gas giants is the Kuiper belt, which is where Pluto is, and then way past Pluto
Hashtag Pluto's a planet.
is the Oort cloud.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Continue on.
The Oort cloud is anywhere from... I didn't write that number down. Ignore that sentence. It'll take Voyager 1, which is a little bit further than Voyager 2. 300 years to reach the inner edge of the Oort cloud. It will take Voyager 1 30,000 years to reach the end of the Oort cloud.
You better hurry up.
And to get to our closest star that's not the sun,
Can I guess?
go ahead.
185,000 years.
Way off.
1.2 million years.
You're going the wrong way.
37,000 years.
It's 70 to 80,000.
Oh, that's not that bad. That's not that bad. Hey,
But that is assuming that there is a planet with life around that star.
so what I'm hearing is we need to put more work in how fast we can get this shit going.
See, that's one of the theories. Another theory is to figure out how to bend space-time.
Look, I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah.
Okay, you're sitting here talking about the laws of physics and all this
Mhm.
made up science leftist bullshit,
Okay, yeah.
and you're like, "Whoa, we can't go the fucking speed of light." That's how you sound. We can't go the speed of light, but we can fucking bend space.
No.
No, Oz.
No.
We're gonna go fast. Americans are good at one thing, and that's going fucking fast.
Yeah, I guess you're
Preferably
you're
in a
right.
circle.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it 4.1 light years, taking only left turns by the grace of God.
Okay. So that just to put into perspective, if we were to try to get to a habitable planet, assuming that there is one around Proxima Centauri, with our current technology, it would take probably 80,000 years.
Yeah.
So, assuming that we figure out a way to go faster,
Mhm.
it's still going to take a long time.
Right.
And some of the issues that we face in long-term space travel are some mental health challenges. You get a little lonely. maybe a bit cagey, or you're in a small space for a long time around a lot of strange people. There's cosmic radiation. There's no gravity, so you might have muscle or bone loss. In fact, current astronauts have to protect their muscles and bones by exercising 2 hours a day.
Ugh,
Yeah.
yucky.
Yeah. Because absolutely every item that you put on a ship will increase the weight, which will increase the amount of fuel you need, which will make it more expensive, make it heavier, make it slower. So we need to find something to combat all of those things.
Right.
One way that we think could work is cryogenics. Because if we can sleep the whole way, we don't need to necessarily eat or drink. You might have a tube with some nutrients going in, but you need significantly less supplies.
I have a question.
What is your question?
This is a legitimate one. I'm not just being an ass here. Okay,
Yes.
So Alien addressed this by having some sort of cyborg on board.
Yes.
So there's a couple things. These systems would have to last 80,000 years.
Correct.
Which is...
Well, this is
obscene.
assuming that we could cryo sleep for 80,000 years.
Right. So these systems would have to be built to last 80,000 years, which is impressive.
Yes.
That's obscene.
Mhm.
Also, who are they thinking would wake us up?
So that one of the companies that was looking into how to do this, they're called SpaceWorks. They were thinking we'd have a rotating system of people who would wake up, make sure everything is working correctly, about 4 people at a time. That way you don't have to use a lot of supplies. And then
The problem is, over 80,000 years, you're working through generations of people there.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if you rotate, I mean, you could have thousands of people. That's still not, and that's gonna be that's gonna be a ship bigger than anything we've ever conceptualized.
correct. Which is
So
why
this is just impractical on every front.
yeah, this would be
Which is
more
why it's probably
for
science fiction, right?
Well, this would be right now like we have a smaller problems that we're trying to figure out, like going to Mars. This is something that we could potentially use for when inevitably Muskrat tries to colonize Mars. Probably going to figure out a way to do cryosleep so we can get more people there.
I think another thing I'm still like stuck on the fact that they're wanting to do like theoretically a
Yes.
system that there would be about 4 to 5 people awake.
Yep.
And then realistically they would probably wake up those next 4 to 5 people. So
Yep.
realistically at one time there would probably be, for a very short amount of time, at least around 10 people that are consuming supplies, which isn't the problem.
Yes.
The problem is every generation that you go through of people that you are waking up, there's like a breakdown. It's like a long game of telephone
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of
Well, that's
these
why
people are going to have like
that's why you
knowledge.
would need to have documentation of every process, no matter
Now
how
you
small.
know we're fucking garbage at documenting things.
Everyone is. Every job I've been to,
Yeah.
one of the principal things, because I work in tech, has been document everything you do. We don't have a document repository. Let's start making one.
Mm-hmm.
No one does this shit. Documentation's super important, though. And in this instance, we would need to have full documentation on how to repair the ship, how to repair a cryopod, how to do everything.
not only that, but also like everyone is human. So everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. And some people are really good at note taking and other people are
I'm
not.
just not good at that.
They're not.
So again, this is all theoretical. And initially, SpaceWorks was like just gonna make everyone sleep the whole time, and NASA was like, "What if things go wrong?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I guess we'll have some
I
people
mean,
awake."
I'm nowhere close to a scientist. I'm a dipshit, and I figured that one out.
Right.
What do you mean?
Exactly. But they also were gonna have a robot that could do chores.
I mean, you're this close to getting a fucking synth from Alien and just
Mhm.
praying to God they don't turn you into a vessel for alien
was
creatures
his
to lay their
name?
eggs in. Which
What's
one,
his
David?
name? David. Yeah, we're
David.
gonna get a David, and hopefully we
you-
don't piss him off.
Or Bishop from the
We've
earlier
made
Alien
so many movies. We know how this ends, and yet we keep trying to do it anyway.
Yeah, with the being murdered by the perfect life form.
Correct.
I love that science fiction movies typically go 2 ways.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what if we brought back this dinosaur? Or
Consider.
But if we brought back an alien parasite,
what if we went into space and looked for aliens? Like,
be
those
fair.
are the only 2 directions we go.
Or deep sea, which is done less. I want to see more.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Continue.
We're
Yes.
at basically 20 minutes, so I'm going to
And
hand
I
it back
haven't
over to you.
fucking done
I know.
anything.
I know, that's why I'm letting you go.
All right, so just a quick recap is that cryosleep is a word that refers to a process that it does not exist, is in science fiction.
Mm.
That is what we see in, like we've mentioned, Alien, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Interstellar, movies like that. Cryonics is what we use for the real life process of human body preservation in cryogenic temperatures, which is not the same as freezing. We'll get to that in a minute. Where does this come from? Why do we even think we can do this? Well, we see it in nature. We see animals hibernating. We see them go into a process called torpor. So hibernation is the yearly cycle of going into a preservation state. Your metabolism slows, your body temperature goes down, you sleep for several months, and then you wake up and you do it all over again. Torpor is sort of like emergency hibernation. Like suddenly it's very cold. Suddenly there's no food. So you have to go into like a little nap state where you can wake up later, there's more food, or you've warmed up and you can survive better. So one of the most extreme examples we have of that is the tardigrade.
Yeah.
Or the water bear. A cute little guy, microscopic critter that kind of looks like an 8-legged pig. We have already sent them to space. So let me see here. Let me find the years. There was a Russian ship that sent them up just to see if they would survive, and then there was an Italian ship that sent them up to see if they could I forgot words. Give me a second. Reproduce. So the Russians sent up tardigrades in 2007, left them out for 10 days in low Earth orbit, and then the
So
Italians
this is in the vacuum of space.
in the vacuum of space. And to give you some context here, I have a quote from an article called, I'm sorry about this title. Extreme freeze tolerance in cryophilic tardigrades relies on controlled ice formation but does not involve significant change in transcription. That is the title of the article.
Okay.
Here we go. Tardigrades are microscopic animals that are renowned for their extreme stress tolerance and their ability to enter a state of suspended animation, which is known as cryptobiosis. In this state, tardigrades can, for example, tolerate exposure to the vacuum and cosmic radiation of space, very high hydrostatic and osmotic pressures, complete desiccation, and exposure to extremely low temperatures. So they are found literally everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The top of the Himalayas, the deepest of oceans, volcanoes, the rainforest, Antarctica, probably your backyard. Literally everywhere.
Almost certainly your backyard. They also live in moss a lot.
Yeah,
Big moss guys.
big moss guys.
Speaking of their durability, I just wanted to interject briefly. There has been research is a strong word. People have found a way to tattoo tardigrades, and they survive it.
What?
Yeah.
How do you make a needle that small?
Nanolasers.
Nanolasers.
They're not actually inking them; they're burning.
Oh, burning them.
That's different.
It is.
Also, they can't consent to that.
They do put them.
They can't consent to be
They
sent into
put them
space.
into their kind of cryobiotic
Yeah.
state when they do this. They're not just like pain. Well, also I don't know if they feel pain or not.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. A lot of them didn't make it. It shouldn't be great, but you know, I thought it was a weird thing that scientists somehow got funding for.
Yeah, scientists will get funding for anything. They'll just be like, "Give us money," and then someone's like, "Hell yeah!"
Fucking liberals.
But so okay, when these extreme environments happen where the tardigrade would not normally survive,
Mm-hmm.
they go into an ametabolic state. So they shut down their life processes and they curl up like a tiny roly-poly and they produce a special protein. So this protein builds up in their cells and it makes them really viscous and gooey on the inside. And so it slows down their cells until they're basically like stopped, and it goes glass-like. All you have to do is rehydrate them, and this like glass sort of material just melts.
So how do they do this underwater?
I don't know.
Okay. Sorry. I didn't.
We're talking space
I know
here.
they're found like
Yeah.
near like vents in the ocean that
Yeah,
generate
yeah.
massive amounts of heat and things like that,
Yeah.
and hyper pressurized states and
Mhm.
things like that. So I didn't know if this is the same. Sorry.
Oh, actually, since you did, they may have different processes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But this is
Like in reaction to different stimuli.
Yes.
Okay.
But very specifically, this is for freezing.
Just okay.
Because this was there is a study that was launched in 2021. It was called Cell Science 04, led by Thomas Boothby, who's an assistant professor at the Department of Molecular Biology at the University of Wyoming.
Wow.
And they sent 2 generations of tardigrades up to the International Space Station. One was to be like their founding generation. They were going to spend a week in space and then be preserved in a special chemical and sent back just to study like how they may have changed while they were in space. And there's a second pool that they were going to let reproduce for 2 months, and then they're going to freeze the different generations and study how they've changed.
Were they expecting to see change in such a short time?
Yes, because they actually have they can survive in their ametabolic state for maybe 9 to 30 years.
Holy crap.
So there was initially people thought that in the vacuum of space it could be indefinite, and then they were like, oh, it's like 100 years, and they're like, just kidding, probably more like 30. Now
still impressive.
Their normal lifespan is about 3 months to 2.5 years.
Oh, so they can extend.
Yeah.
So technically they can extend their lifespan. Is it at any time, or do they only trigger this in response to stimuli?
I believe it's only triggered in stimuli, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
So,
that
yes.
guy's going to wake up and there's going to be a whole nother president.
Yeah. There's going to be a whole bunch of them. So, we've already sent them to space, and we are sending them to space again. Again, this was in 2021 when they got their first round of funding. I did try to, find and see if there's any updates about this experiment. I didn't see anything except for, the initial, news from 2021. So that could mean they just don't have conclusions yet. I mean, that could mean they don't have funding anymore. I don't know. But
Okay.
I know that we have sent tardigrades to space, and we are still getting information about that. Because if we can understand how this state is induced and how they survive, we may be able to use that information to help us induce human hibernation.
I do think there's an inherent problem with humans trying to take things that apply to animals that animals can do and applying them to our bodies,
Correct.
which are typically much more fragile.
Yes.
Not built for these things. That being said, if they could find a way for us to survive, that'd be cool as fuck.
Wow.
But I feel like we're probably a very long way off, even if we study them.
Again, we're incredibly way off, but there is a precedent.
Okay.
So why we think maybe we could make this work. In 1945,
Okay.
there was a doctor named T.B. Fay who wrote Observations on Generalized Refrigeration in Cases of Severe Cerebral Trauma. He was cooling his patients who had brain trauma, hoping that it would reduce the swelling and slow the metabolism enough for them to sort of fix it before they...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that is kind of the earliest, written case of it, but there's another researcher named Kees Polderman who argues that what we call therapeutic hypothermia, which is cooling them down to hypothermic temperatures, has been happening since ancient Egypt. I don't know exactly how they were doing it.
Okay.
Because now we have, obviously, we can just make ice, and
Right.
we can, we have intravenous saline solutions and like medical grade antifreeze, but all they had was maybe ice. So like,
that doesn't sound very fun.
correct. But the reason that we think it could work, so there was a lot of experimentation that happened in the 60s, mostly with cardiac patients and neonatal cases, a lot of unsupervised experimental sort of things.
Sounds about right.
But in 1995, there was a case in the Pre-Hospital and Disaster Medicine magazine about a 4-year-old boy who fell into Lake Hanover in Germany. And the disaster response team, the rescue team, was not able to resuscitate him at the lake. And he was essentially in cardiac arrest for 88 minutes.
Holy crap.
And when they got him to the hospital, his body temperature was 67.6 degrees.
Oh my god.
But after 20 minutes, they were able to warm him back up. 10 more minutes, and his heart was back to a normal rhythm. And he apparently made a full recovery. And
despite being 30 degrees. Or 20 degrees. No, yeah, 30 degrees under.
Correct. They believe that because he was cooled down so much, that it's put him into a state of, quote, protective metabolic torpor.
Mm-hmm.
So he preserved his organs and his tissues and slowed his need for oxygen in the blood. So he was able to like continue life processes enough. And then we have something similar happen in 1999 with Swedish radiologist named Anna Bagenholm. She was trapped under the ice for 80 minutes after a skiing accident. Her body temperature dropped to 56 degrees.
Oh god, okay.
But again, made a full recovery with only like minimal nerve damage. And then in 2006, we've got Mitsutaka Uchikoshi, who survived, apparently, 24 days without food or water because he was in a hypothermic state.
Did it cover how cold he got?
No.
Because 24 days without water is substantial.
That one, I don't think there was like a written record of. I think that was like more anecdotal.
Okay.
But there are several incidences of this happening. And so there was a lot of experimentation happening in the medical field. And essentially, like, they thought it was working. And it was specifically aimed at people with like heart problems. And it's not really happening as much anymore, basically.
Right.
Because there are more severe side effects.
Oh.
Like, so obviously, like, our bodies are mostly water.
Mm-hmm.
And when you freeze the body and you freeze the cells, it causes cell damage.
I'm assuming pretty extensive.
Not great.
And I'm so
well, that's why
hydrated.
frostbite is a thing.
You're incredibly hydrated, so you would be so dead if you were frozen. All this to say, like, we don't completely understand how hibernation works. And in 2011, there was a study done where they saw that the brain's adenosine receptor, I don't think that's right, was possibly triggering a hibernation response. And now we all have this A1 receptor.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's been some experimentation on animals that don't hibernate and trying to trigger this response in those animals. Again, I had the same issue I had with the tardigrade experiment where I couldn't find any results. That could be just, it was a failed experiment, they ran out of money, whatever. I don't know. So now there is another study being done by Kelly Drew. She was awarded the NASA Space Grant in 2023 to study hibernating squirrels and their ability to retain muscle and bone mass because they hibernate between like 8 or 9 months a year.
Holy
Squirrels?
crap.
Arctic squirrels.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant regular ass squirrels.
No.
Like, that's insane. What are you talking
Arctic ground squirrels. And
about?
their
I didn't know we
body...
had Arctic squirrels.
Well, in the Arctic we do. And their body temperature drops below freezing, and they still like maintain their body mass.
That's banana pudding.
Correct. So we're trying to better understand how are they maintaining their body mass? Can we induce hibernation in animals that don't typically hibernate? And then how does hibernation work in general? And so we don't have answers to any of those questions.
Right.
But it is like lots of research is being done. So earlier we were talking about kind of hypothetically the like people waking up and taking care of the rest of the people like in cryogenic sleep.
Yes.
I'm going to come back to that. So SpaceWorks Enterprises is an aerospace design contractor for NASA and the Department of Defense. So they've done work with NASA in the past. They've developed something called the CubeSat satellite constellations. The current president, or I guess the president during the time where they were doing this experiment, was John Bradford. And he and his team also got a NASA grant in 2013 for $100,000. It was the phase 1 grant, so there's several phases. They were going to, quote, design a compact, zero-gravity, rigid structure habitat based on International Space Station crew module designs. Featured closed-loop oxygen and water production systems, direct access to the Mars ascent and descent vehicles, and support for a crew of 6, all of whom would be kept in torpor for the entire 6 to 9 month Mars journey.
What does that mean in English? They made a facility, or like a thing to do what?
They made a habitat that would hold a crew of 6, and all of them would be in torpor or induced hibernation for a trip to Mars.
And also, all of their water use is completely recycled. Like, everything is in-house.
It's a closed loop.
Piss, exhalation, condensation, all that stuff.
That's kind of what they do anyway. And, like, so spacesuits are they kind of built like a computer, how they have, like, the water systems that cools a computer.
Yeah.
They do that in spacesuits.
Okay.
So this is all based on, like, science that's kind of already being done. But in this case, they would cool the astronauts with nitrogen gas through a, how do you say it? Cannula in your nose. You know the nose thing?
Mm-mm.
All right.
I ain't got a clue.
It's the thing. You know when
you nailed it.
Thanks.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know what it's called.
Anyway, they're going to lower the body temperature to between 96 and 89 degrees. So not freezing like we've seen in people who have been trapped under the ice.
Right.
But it is lower. So it should slow the metabolic rate. And in this habitat, they wanted to create a robotic arm that would carry out the chores, maneuver the astronauts as needed, check all the sensors, the urine evacuation lines, gross, and the chemical feeds. And this robot would basically like do little electric shocks to stimulate their muscles so they would maintain muscle tone. And they also would have to be given some sort of sedation to stop shivering. The biggest problem with trying to freeze people is that the human body is going to try to warm back up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to stop the shivering. Except sometimes sedation doesn't work. So that's like another whole other.
Could they try like full body paralyzation?
I don't know. That sounds like a bad idea.
This all sounds like a bad fucking idea. What do you mean? You're freezing people. You specifically.
Me, I'm doing it. But in this hypothetical situation, they were just giving everyone a catheter that was going to give them nutrition. It was it's a chest catheter.
That's still gross.
I only know the urethra catheters, and I was like, they're feeding them through their urethra.
No.
As someone who loves food, this sounds like hell.
You wouldn't be awake. You wouldn't know.
I would be sedated.
The point is that with this theoretical model, they think that they could reduce the shuttle to 19.9 tons. So typically, or to give you some reference, NASA's Trans-Hab habitat weighs 41.9 tons.
Damn. Okay.
So that is a 52% decrease in mass.
It's still substantial.
It is substantial, but that would reduce time, fuel, money. It would be a significant decrease to the consumables needed for this trip.
Right, which are a big limiting factor in this type of travel.
Correct. But the problem in that theory is that the whole crew is asleep the whole time.
Mm.
Now, for a 6 to 9 month trip, potentially could be fine because there's
Or potentially fatal for everybody.
yes, but there's telemetry, so like the people on the ground could be adjusting things
Can
from
they
the ground.
trigger like a wake up sequence from there?
I would hope they'd build that in.
The problem is when you get into stuff like this, like any sort of long form communication, even phones and internet and
Takes
shit
a
like
long
that,
time.
it does. But also, there's always a risk of failure. And 6 to 9 months, I'd rather just keep them awake. Well, at least one person awake, consume minimal resources. Yeah. But anyway, sorry.
Well, that's why.
Also, I have another question.
Damn it, Andy.
If this happened too, if everyone is asleep and there's like a failure between ground communication and this SPOSUP.
SPOSUP.
Yes. If there is a failure, the sedation is going to run out.
Everything's going to run out.
Everything's going to run out.
They're just going to die.
Yeah, they're going to die.
But they're not going to know they're dying, so it's okay.
I think they would, though.
No.
They're not awake.
Why would they?
But if everything stops working,
I don't think
the body was going to, like, kick in and...
I don't know.
That would take a total systems failure, and you're assuming they're going to be able to wake up out of this themselves.
Yeah. I think they need to be stimulated.
Okay.
Why are you making faces over there? No one can see you.
I know. I was stop pointing me out. I was gonna say something that was wildly inappropriate.
All right. Okay, but anyway, NASA points out this is maybe not the best idea. You should have some people who are awake.
Yeah, no joke.
So in 2016, they were approved for a second phase of funding for $250,000.
Damn.
I haven't seen anything about it since then. Again, they could be still working, could be out of money, don't know. But there have been other experiments going on in the meantime. In 2024, Ryan Sprenger of Fauna Bio Incorporated was given phase 1 funding for something called Studying Torpor in Animals for Space Health in Humans, or STASH, which is to study microgravity hibernation at ISS. So they were kind of doing something similar, but they were actually going to try to put animals in space.
Okay.
And again, that was 2024. I don't know if they were reapproved because I don't know how long the phases last. I did look at like the 2025 phase list and like they weren't on there, but it could be like, it could be a 2-year thing, could be a 3-year thing. I don't know. So that may still be happening.
Going on. Yeah.
So with all that being said, lots of research being done. We haven't really answered any of our major questions. Where does that put us? Where are we at now? Well, there has been a whole big movement called cryonics, which the intention of which is for people to decide how long they get to live. What happens is, after you die, after you are legally considered dead, they will cryogenically freeze you so that someday, maybe in the future, if they can heal what you died of, they will revive you and fix you up.
So there's a lot of problems with this.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest ones is you're paying, I'm assuming,
we're gonna
a
get there.
substantial amount of money.
Yeah.
What if you just get in a fucking car wreck and your body explodes? That money's just pissed away? You don't get a refund, right?
Oh, hell no.
Okay. Not that it matters to you. You're dead, but your family might.
Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Let me get into it. There are 3 major companies who are offering this service. It's called cryopreservation.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.bio, Cryonics Institute, and Alcor. All of them offer full body cryopreservation, neurocriopreservation.
Just the brain?
Yep. Okay. And pet preservation.
I could freeze.
No.
Mm-mm. No.
Nope.
No. Mm-mm.
That's not going to help anything.
So here's how the process works, or at least according to tomorrow.bio. They do something called vitrification, which is putting you in a glass-like state. As we mentioned before, if you freeze a body, the ice is going to destroy the cells.
Damage, right.
So what they do is they start by lowering your body temperature to negative 130 degrees Celsius, which is negative 202 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
They will pump out all your blood. They're going to replace it with an antifreeze called a cryoprotectant solution. And then they're going to cool you some more to negative 196 degrees Celsius or negative 320.8 degrees Fahrenheit.
So is antifreeze to prevent you from freezing completely?
It's to put you in a glass-like state. That's all I got.
Okay, you're good.
Like the
You're good.
tardigrades.
Like the tardigrades.
Yeah.
Except we can't make our own antifreeze.
Correct. We cannot. But this is the temperature of liquid nitrogen. And in one article, it said it was just the temperature of liquid nitrogen. And in another article, it said they were actually put in liquid nitrogen. I don't know.
Your body, like, what if somebody bumps into you? You're done.
Probably.
You're
But
shattered.
see, here's the thing is that they're going to put you in something called a dewar, which
What
is a cryogenic storage container.
Okay, that's cool. I'm assuming that's some sort of electrical power. But if the power goes out and both backup generators fail, like you're fucked.
Probably.
This is a terrible idea. I'm sorry.
Also, you have to consider, Oz said these were companies,
Mm-hmm.
which are going to be
Also,
usually-
sounds like a devious giant.
It dies.
private for-profit companies. And you know what
they're not
happens to
doing that.
those?
Actually,
for free.
no. You know what? They're 501(c) nonprofits, which just means they're getting tax benefits.
Well, also something like this, it's only going to increase exponentially in cost over time because they're going to run out of space
Mhm.
to put you.
Not only that,
So
but
get
what
in now while
happens?
it's cheap.
What happens if they go out of business?
It's funny you should say that because they did at one point discover several like decomposing bodies that they believed were being like cryopreserved. This was many years ago. Actually,
And I'm assuming again, there's no refund for this.
no. How are they going to refund you?
Your
If they're
family,
if they run out of money though, like what are you going to sue for?
this just seems like a terrible idea.
Yep, in 1979, 9 supposedly frozen patients were found in LA in something they dubbed the Chatsworth Crypt
Mm.
because they were not able to maintain the frozen temperatures.
Ugh, icky.
Yeah, again don't pay for this shit. This is insane.
So, again, I guess not again. I don't think I said it at all. No one has ever been revived from a cryogenic sleep.
Right.
This is entirely theoretical. So the closest we've gotten is that obviously we've revived the tardigrades. And in 2003, we vitrified a rabbit kidney and
What does vitrified mean?
put it in a glass-like state.
Okay. Oh, you said that.
I
man.
did.
Okay.
And
It sounded familiar, but I didn't know for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then we thawed it out and retransplanted it into a rabbit where it did appear to function normally. But that's it. That's all we've
How
done.
long was it vitrified? Do you know? Do you have a timeline?
I do not know. That's all I got.
That would be interesting to know if it's
Over time, if it like impacts the
Probably.
yeah.
the quality of the organ.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I also don't know, like, how long this rabbit lived after this. Like, did it live its normal sort of lifespan? I imagine not, but there's a whole medical paper and it's like 1,000,000 pages. I'm not going to read it.
Yeah.
So you can do that if you want.
Can y'all
Listener?
imagine the capitalistic hellscape that will be in 200 years from now, where they're like, "Oh yeah, do you want this? What is that called? Vitrification. Do you want this 1 year vitrified kidney, or do
Mhm,
you
mhm.
want this like 30-year vitrified kidney
Off-brand.
from like a chronic alcoholic?"
You're talking about like some cyberpunk 2077 shit where you go to Costco and buy
They're
organs.
gonna fucking do that. Capitalism is gonna
Mhm, mhm.
capitalism.
Now, I can see, like, genuine medical, like, reasons for this. Because right now, a lot of, like, organ transplants, they have to happen, like, very quickly.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people who need organs. So if we could vitrify organs and save them,
I think you're more likely at the point with current technology where you're replacing those with mechanical
we
parts.
could also do that. But then you have to think of, like, the maintenance that has to be done on a mechanical part inside of organic parts.
Yeah, I mean, your body could outright reject it.
Could, yeah.
I mean, best case scenario, you're making out of something that's semi-hypoallergenic and
Mm-hmm.
praying to God it works. I mean, we're very far off from that too, but there would have to be not an organ shortage to vitrify organs.
Yeah. And I don't entirely want to sit here and shit on the idea, but I do want to point out that I mean, I can't sit here and say it's a scam because we could actually get in legal trouble. Like, these people could come after us if they really wanted to. So I'm not going to say it's a scam, but I am going to say
I think it's a bad idea for sure.
that the quote unquote father of cryonics is a guy named Robert Ettinger, who founded the Cryonics Institute. And he was inspired by the science fiction story, The Jameson Satellite. And in 1962, he published something called The Prospect of Immortality that proposed the idea of preserving humans and then revitalizing them at some point. And his whole thing was that, life insurance could cover it. And he admitted that he didn't want to publish it at first because he has no credentials or formal qualifications. He has a master's in physics and mathematics. So he has no background in medicine, like, whatsoever. Just to put that out there for you.
So, another thing about this. Even if this whole idea worked, the whole concept of living immortality just doesn't seem very, because things are still going to happen. Like, even after you wake up, you could, I don't know, get into a car accident.
Well, not that you're waking up in a, let's say, 70-year-old body. How much longer? Even if they unfreeze you, how long do you have?
Well, what I was thinking about,
you're patching up a beater car at that point.
Yeah, I was thinking about when cells age, they lose their structure for the most part, and that's what things start to break down. And we see that in cases with dementia and Alzheimer's, where cells have broken down so much that they're literal holes in the brain.
So tomorrow.bio, they claim, so when you get vitrified, it doesn't stop aging, but apparently can slow it. And they claim that they can keep a body frozen and viable for up to 28,000 years.
Assuming it's a baby, or...
But how do they know that? Because that's not even testable.
Exactly. So that's the thing, is that it's entirely theoretical and is based on the idea that maybe we could revitalize you, and if we can revitalize you, maybe we could fix what killed you. And if we can fix what killed you, maybe we could de-age you. That's not really mentioned, but
this also feels, because you said that the guy originally was it could be covered by life insurance, and that seems I feel normally now life insurance policies are usually used with the intent to provide for family members after death, but also to pay for your
funeral process.
Yes, your post-mortem care. In regards to funeral and all of that shit.
So that actually has become the model for these companies, is that all of them are you can just use your life insurance, just make us your beneficiary. So let's do a fun little guessing game.
Why couldn't you just make one of your family members a beneficiary and have them pay for it instead of... You
can, but some of this is not being super upfront. So one of them, I don't remember which one it was. Let me back up. You have to have a membership.
Which is
wait. So on top of you basically signing away your life insurance policy, which is already a monthly fee.
You could have monthly or different policies for your family in this, but yeah, anyway.
Yes, you have to pay, and I'll tell you about the fee in a second, but the point is that for most of them, you have to already have had a membership when you die in order to use these services. If you don't, someone can apply for you to get a membership. They have to pay a fee. And then even if they apply and do it for you, there's a fee for them doing it for you. And that's just like one of the places. So I can sit here and tell you about like all of the models of payments for all three of them, but I'm just going to tell you about tomorrow.bio because it's the most expensive one, sort of. They're all kind of around the same, except it's different how they present how you have to, like, what you have to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
But just off the top of your head, how much do you think it costs to cryopreserve a whole body?
$400,000.
800,000.
Okay, you're way high. You're looking at about $250 if you're not a member
Just for the body.
for your whole body.
It's not terrible.
Yeah, $250,000. If you are a member, it's $220,000.
Wow, $30. Wait,
$30.
$30,000 discount.
$30,000 discount. Now, tomorrow.bio is based in the UK. They do have some services in the US, but neuropreservation is only available in Europe right now. So I could not get a price for that without giving them my email, and I'm not giving them my email.
Right.
But membership, you can pay by month, you can pay by year, or you can do a lifetime fee. The monthly fee is $55.
Not that bad.
The yearly fee is $550.
Saving $100.
And the lifetime fee, which when I initially made my notes last week, was $9,999. When I checked again today, it was $15,000. So I'm not really sure what that's about, but anyway,
Inflation.
Inflation.
Did you not clear your cookies?
That's what I asked him. When he mentioned that the price had gone up, he didn't tell me the price, but he's like, it went up. I was like,
I don't
cookies
think
like an airline.
I don't think that's what it is.
No cookies for you.
But if you have a membership, you get a welcome box. You get a
Oh.
24/7 standby team.
What is in our welcome box?
I don't know. You get a yearly member exclusive event.
Tell you what, if we get to 15,000 patrons, we'll pay the fee
Why?
just to check out the welcome box.
No.
What?
Just the monthly one.
Oz has student loans.
just for the welcome box.
I wonder though if you start to pay, like, how, if you have to sign a contract to like pay for a certain amount of time.
I mean, we could reach out.
You're right. We could get more information.
We could.
That'd be crazy.
15,000 patrons, guys. Hook us up.
We don't have
We
a
don't have a
Patreon.
Patreon.
Patreon. So that's where we're at currently. We are, I would say, hopeful. Maybe stupidly so. We're optimistic about the future and the possibility of immortality, as we've always been. I could probably do an episode on just like the idea of immortality and chasing that. That'd be a good episode.
It would be a good episode.
But
Yeah.
that's where we're at. So imagining now our current world, and if the world was ending tomorrow with our technology, would you go into cryo sleep?
Nah, I'm gonna go into the
You're
mountains
gonna die.
and look for some nice rocks.
I'm gonna look for some nice rocks.
I'm gonna find a super deep bunker and pray to God whatever it is doesn't kill me.
Go and eat something really good.
Honestly,
Really?
I think what I would do, legitimately,
Mm-hmm.
take a nice chunk of NyQuil and just fucking nap.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, that sounds pretty good.
Hell yeah, you in?
I'm in.
Fuck yeah, nap time. While I do
That's
it.
hey. Well, maybe next episode, we can hash out our differences about aliens. But for now, thanks for listening about my little rant about cryostasis and why you shouldn't get cryogenically preserved right now. We don't have enough science to support it. Anyway, thanks for listening.
We love you.
Thank y'all.
Bye.
Bye.